Like, I can't believe we're in the middle of Penn State season now with the practices. They're about midway through. Mm-hmm. You've had some conferences. You've been up there. All kinds of good things are going on. What surprises you the most right now is they're getting ready for their big game with Syracuse to start off the season, about a week and a half away.
I don't know if I'm really surprised at how close the quarterback race has been, but considering how decisive he was, Bill O'Brien was last year in picking Matt McGloin, there's a contrast. Yeah. I think there's a contrast for good and obvious reasons, which is these are two young guys, these are two rookies in major college football who really are very, very close, whereas by this point, McGloin had long since emerged from the pack in terms of knowledge of the offense and everything like it. And another part of this is I think O'Brien is really enjoying this, and I think he regards these guys as kind of clay that he can mold in his own football philosophy. I think he's digging it. So it may go on for a little while. He's going to do a little press conference on Thursday. Maybe we'll find out that he's made a decision. And, Thursday, we will be, 9 days away from playing the game. So it's getting to the point where he's going to have to decide. Another thing, Zach Zwinnak, the tailback who ran for 1,000 yards last year and had a wrist injury, he's still being held out of contact, the last we heard in practice. And that is a little surprising. I thought that injury would essentially be over with by now. It certainly looked that way in the summer stuff and the lift for life. He seemed like he was ahead of the pace. So that's something that's a little surprising. The big picture thing is the constant concessions that O'Brien has to make to the sanctions in terms of developing depth and developing the roster and player development and all that kind of stuff. That's going to be an ongoing issue for the next few years, really. But that's where we are, I think, heading into the start of the season.
Are there any decisions, or even the way he started designing schemes around players? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I think a couple things. Well, I think they're going to try to move their best players around and make them more versatile. Allen Robinson was the Big Ten wide receiver of the year last year. O'Brien has already said, we're going to move him around a lot more, try to get him away from being double teamed because they don't have a big name receiver other than him. Of course, the tight end position is another animal, but a wide receiver, they don't have another one. Right. So they're going to move him around a lot. On defense, I think you're going to see more nickel. With 5 D-back, 2 linebacker type sets, and possibly Adrian Amos, who is a very good defensive secondary player who's played corner and safety. He's going to play safety this year, I think, but sometimes he may move to linebacker and actually be. Glenn Carson is a very, very good run-stopping linebacker for Penn State, who has struggled at times and has come off the field at times in passing situations. So they may go 5 D-backs, they may go Amos to linebacker. Again, it's trying to get your best players and move them around to adapt to the situation.
So it's going to be fun to sort of watch some of these battles and these schemes that are taking place on the offensive and defensive side of the field.
And remember, you have a coach who worked with a 53-man roster for a long time. It's a much different animal than like Alabama, but a guy who maybe has some experience with that animal.
Again, who's the best equipped for this to happen? O'Brien seems to be, again, he's got extra guys he's used to having in the NFL. This works out pretty well.
It's unbelievable how good a hire this appears to have been. Penn State was smart, but you got to say they've really gotten lucky, too, by all appearances with Bill O'Brien.